We interviewed Conley Stone, captain of the men's lacrosse team here at the University of Tampa. We wanted to learn what effective leadership roles look like at a high performance environment such as this thriving lacrosse team here at the university. We wanted to learn the connection between the coaches and the players and helping to get strategy within the team. Our purpose was to learn leadership in athletics and also connect those lessons to business leadership. The team captain must communicate clear expectations without the coach having to pound on them and make everything as clear as possible. By interviewing Conley Stone, we wanted to get the gap between the sports leadership and the business leadership. His experience demonstrates how strong leaders build culture, lead by example, and make decisions in high-stakes situations just like the real work life. And he wanted to prioritize team success and make sure everybody was balanced out and everybody was treated equally. Principles that directly translate to effective leaderships in organization and professional environments.
Sweet. Well, Conley, thank you so much for coming in and answering a few questions from us. I guess we'll just get right into it. Yeah. So, can you describe your leadership role on the team and what responsibilities come with being a captain?
Yeah, so like you said, I am a captain. There's like the managing aspect of it, and then there's like the leadership aspect of it. For managing, it's like we got 70 guys on our lacrosse team, so getting them from point A to point B on away trips, making sure practice is running right, making sure guys are really bought in. And then there's that leadership. One of our favorite quotes our head coach always tells us is, it's like leaders, they can get people to do things they want to do without them like realizing it. So like getting people motivated to come out to practice, play hard, come out to games, want to kick somebody's ass, like anything they can do to come out and prepare for our team. That's more of our leadership side of it. So that's also an aspect that I have.
Well, yeah, quick follow-up. Can you walk us through a specific moment this season when you really had to step into that role of just trying to rally everyone?
Yeah, definitely. So our team, we had a game and we only won by 1 goal, but it was a team we should have really just beat by a lot more. And so our head coach, he called me and the other captain into his office, and we got chewed out, but he told us that we're acting like managers, not like leaders. So since then, we've really tried to instill the whole team, especially the upperclassmen. So we had a big group meeting with our seniors. We told them, we need more out of you guys. We need y'all to step up and help us. And since then, we're 3-0. We're winning a lot of games. Our practices have been looking really great, all because our coach communicated to us we need to be better, and we communicated to the seniors and the rest of the team that they need to be better as well.
Right on. Thank you.
How do you make sure that the energy and the morals stays high when you're at a low point in the season or come around Memorial Day weekend? Yeah, it's a long season.
No, definitely. So right off the bat is getting the seniors involved. Like, it makes our job a lot easier when every guy on the team wants to be there. Obviously, we have a big team. Not every guy is going to want to come to practice every day, but having a good core group that always supports us, always, like, if we don't see something, they're calling guys up to our standard, then that really helps us. And then after that, we have a catchphrase. It's just called good. So our whole team pretty much says it. And like today, we're running the Monday Mile, and our response is good. We want that adversity.
That's awesome. All right. So for the third question, can you give an example of a time when you had to adjust your leadership style in order to kind of fit different teammates' personalities?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm naturally like a pretty laid back guy. I don't get into people's faces that much, but I realized like ever since I became a captain, I may have to do that. I don't have to change my entire personality, but I have to be able to have those like hard conversations. So now if a guy messes up off the field, for example, we had a couple kids who they went out 2 nights before a game, which like we're not allowed to do. So me and Grant, we talked to both of them. We let them know, like, this is not something we're doing. And then, unfortunately, we had to let Coach know. They didn't play that next day, whatever the game was. And that's something that's different from our years past, because guys would do that and then still be able to play in the games. But we wanted to make sure that if we have one rule, it applies to every person on the team, because both of those guys were guys that would be playing. But last year we had guys like that, and our team we didn't hold each other as accountable as much. So really focusing on accountability this year has helped a lot.
That's awesome.
Cool. Yeah. So as like having that captain title that you have, how do you build trust and strong relationships within the team?
Oh, definitely. Well, I've been here since I was a freshman, so off the bat, like I've been playing with Sam for 3 years. I have 9 or 10 other guys that I've been playing with for 4 years. And so it's really just that build up until this year has helped me with all the guys that are on the team. In terms of new transfers, Grant and I were already voted as captains over the summer. So we had 20 to 30 new guys coming in that had never met us, and we were supposed to lead them. So it's really about like making sure we're in constant contact with them. Grant and I were calling every single guy over the summer, introducing ourselves, letting them know that yes, we're here for you, but we're also here to hold you accountable and push you as hard as you can be. And then once we got here, just doing big team events, like getting guys together, trying my best to make a connection with every single person on the team. It's hard, we got 70 guys, but it really does matter because then they know that if I'm chewing them out and they know how much I care for them, they'll know that I'm not just here to yell at them. I'm here because I know how good they can be.
Well, yeah, I wanted to ask you like what specifically you have done, but you went into that with like texting, the transfer specifically. Is there anything else that like in season when
Oh yeah. So like I play defense for our team, and we always have these defensive hangouts, and it's really nice to split it up into groups like that because then it's more face-to-face time with each other. Like we could just be hanging out outside, but we're having great conversation. Like we're slowly getting tighter, and I guess just as that goes on, like throughout the year, we start to mesh more and more.
And what is your approach when holding teammates accountable for performance or effort?
Yeah, I heard this quote. It's something like praise publicly, but like talk to them if they got in trouble or something privately. So I never want to be the guy that's like, Sam messes up, I chew him out in front of the whole team. Obviously, if he's not putting in effort, I'll yell at him on the field. But if he genuinely is doing something that's harmful to the team, I'm not going to confront him in front of everybody. I would rather have a face-to-face conversation where I'm talking to him, I'm letting him know that this needs to stop. Like, from now on, like, you're on thin ice, or we need you to be better, continue to push every single day. Just having that face-to-face interaction makes it stick with them a lot more, I'd say.
All right. So how do you support the development and confidence of the younger or less experienced players that are coming in? You've touched on it a little bit with the transfers, but kind of the younger kids and freshmen that.
Well, first I let them know that I was in their shoes. I mean, I remember I was pissing my pants freshman year, really worried about everything going on. And so, like, putting myself in their perspective, in their shoes, that really helps me in terms of, yeah, like, I've been there. I know what he's going through. So then, like, voicing that to them, knowing, like, hey, we're always going to have your back. Just go out there and, like, play as hard as you can. Because a lot of guys will come in trying to make plays or trying to show off for coaches or other teams. But in reality, it's just how can you get better every single day. So, like, relaying that message to them, letting them know it's always next play, next ground ball, next possession, whatever it is, just make sure that you're moving on to the next thing at 100%.
It's an awesome message.
Yeah.
It's an awesome message.
Sweet. Yeah. So looking back, what leadership lessons has had the biggest impact on you and how you lead today?
Well, other than, our coach yelling at us and telling us that we were acting like managers, that really hit home for us. But in January, we have this military training program. It's called The Program. But these two military guys they've been coming since before I was a freshman. So we have, like, good relationships with them. At this camp, they had us divide up into groups of 3 within our team. So it was me, a guy that played on the team last year, and then one of our transfers who now, like, we're all very tight. But we had to do 2 pros and 2 cons of, like, what we're good at. So I listened to their pros, and, like, they made me feel really good. I was like, yeah, I didn't even know about me. But listening to their cons too, like, for example, they said that I sometimes act too selfless. Like, I need to have the swagger to say, yeah, this is my team, and to make sure that everybody on this team is doing whatever they need to be. So since then, I've really tried to have like more of a vocal voice and like bringing guys face to face, having that confrontation. That used to be hard for me, but now, like after this year, it's really just helped me a lot because now I can have that like safety when I go up to people because they know they trust me. But it all started from like January. We're in the woods. It's cold. We're tired, and we're having these great conversations where they're telling me not what I want to hear, but what I need to hear. You know.
Yeah, that exercise was pretty helpful.
Yeah.
What advice would you give a younger player who wants to become a leader?
Ooh. I heard this when I was a senior in high school, right before I was coming to Tampa. So that summer before, I had a buddy who played at Palm Beach Atlantic, which is a team in our conference, and he told me freshman year is the year to have fun. Sophomore year, if you want to be a captain, it needs to start there. You need to start like learning and showing that you can be a leader. So then every year I tried to learn as much as I can, especially from the captains before me. And I think sophomore year was really big for my development because we had like a bunch of great role models that were older, and they showed me what it means to lead a team. So then last year, junior year, two of my best friends are the captains, and I'm just doing everything I can to support them. They were great captains. They taught me a lot. So now here, I am a captain, and I'm looking at everything I've learned in the past, like all the failures I've made. I try and look at how can I learn from it and how can I teach others. So that's really kind of my mindset going into everything.
What do you think matters the most off the field to maintain that leadership purpose?
Like being yourself, you know. I don't really want to be somebody that is completely different on the field. I have an entirely different personality. Like you can ask Sam, I feel like I'm pretty similar on and off the field. And I feel like that's a level of like trust that guys have. Like if they can see that I'm way different off the field, like I'm going out every night, for example, I'm not holding others to the standard. I'm allowing them to do stuff in front of me. Like that isn't something that can translate on the field where I would still have the respect that I need to lead this team.
All right, last question here. So, how do you sculpt new players to get used to the team culture and norms and standards?
That's a good one. I think a lot of it comes down to just like the guys that are returners. I remember I was a freshman. We always say it's hard to not fit in on our team because like everybody is just so nice to each other. We all have similar personalities. And I think like as you get older, you start to get molded by the other players. So like I went through that process, and now that I'm a senior and we have freshmen coming in, they got in trouble a couple of times in the fall, and we had to let them know like we don't do this. This is not a good representation of our team. And you know, like that's stuff freshmen will do. They'll get in trouble in the dorms, but it's about letting them know like we need you to be bought in so that this team can be bought in. Because if we're all moving in the same direction, then this team can be unstoppable. But that all comes down to getting to them early, letting them know what we do and what we don't do, like our standards, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, yeah, that's all we have. Conley, thank you so much
Thank you.
for coming in and helping us out. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
The theories that I connected this interview to was the Maslow hierarchy of needs and the Schwartz value theory. One of the connections I had to Maslow was the physiological. First, you need to have the right nutrition to play on the lacrosse team because if you're not, you're not going to function properly. Safety is to make sure you have the physical aspects and everything to be part of the team and not get hurt. Love is make sure you love all your teammates and love the sport that you play. Esteem is to make sure that you have the right confidence to teach, as Conley has. He wants to self-confidence and strength within the team. And desire for self-fulfillment, self-accusation, that is the top. Conley wants to make sure that everything is the best it could be and make sure their team is truly unstoppable at the end of the season and they can make a good run through the playoffs. The other one was the Schwartz theory, and I wanted to make sure that the 10 basic human values, such as self-direction, making sure everything that Conley said was straightforward and through the action, and he wants to encourage creativity. And another example that I have was conformity. So he wants to make sure that he's getting his point forward without getting on anybody's nerves or not trying to be that guy, but make sure that the point is out there. And the self enhancement versus self transcendence is towards the welfare of others, and he wants to make sure that people know people have to be held to the standard, and if not, then it's not going to roll with their team, and they have to make sure that every player is within the standards that they want so they can win the games and develop fully as a team.
One of the biggest things I took away from interviewing Conley was that leadership on a team is less about authority and more about influence. Even though he doesn't have formal power over anyone, the way he carries himself sets the tone for the entire team. That connects directly to what we learned in Chapter 13. Leadership is a process of influencing others toward a shared goal. I especially noticed elements of transformational leadership in the way Conley described motivating the team. Instead of focusing only on performance, he emphasized energy, accountability, and setting the standard through his own actions. This reflects inspirational motivation and idealized influence. He leads by example and raises expectations rather than simply enforcing them. When the team morale drops, he focuses on belief and the culture, not just the outcomes. I also saw strong examples of leader-member exchange theory. Conley talked about building trust with teammates and understanding that different players need different approaches. That shows how high-quality leader-member relationships create stronger commitment and accountability. It reinforced the idea that leadership isn't one style fits all. It's relational and adaptable. Personally, this interview made me reflect on my own leadership. I realized I often focus more on task-oriented behaviors, making sure things get done, but I could grow in being more intentional about relationship building and individualized support. Seeing how much impact that has on a team culture made me realize leadership is built daily through consistency, trust, and adaptability. Overall, interviewing Conley showed me that strong leadership isn't about being the loudest voice. It's about setting the standard and influencing others through an example.
All right, to start off my reflection, I'm going to start with some key leadership lessons that I learned. So leadership is not just about giving instructions or managing somebody. It's more about guiding and motivating a team toward a shared goal or a group of individuals toward a common goal. I also learned that communication and collaboration within the team or the group is essential for them to perform well. Getting into kind of the interview that we did with Conley, one theory, I guess, that I could relate back to our class is transformational leadership. I felt like a lot of things that he talked about showed him as a transformational leader. Leaders should inspire and motivate others, not just manage their tasks. And I feel like as a captain, he kind of hit on a lot of those things of inspiring and motivating the younger kids and even his peers that are the same age as him to do their best every single day. Because, especially when it gets hot down here, it's not fun to go out there and play lacrosse sometimes when it's 90 degrees, but to stay motivated and stay consistent is important. Something else that I could relate this back to is the expectancy theory. People are more motivated when they believe that their effort will result in good performance and that their performance will lead to meaningful rewards or results. And in our case with the lacrosse team and a captain, Conley is trying to motivate these kids, and what their good performance would lead to is ultimately a championship. Which would be pretty cool for, especially Conley, he's a senior, to go out that way. Some team dynamics that we could get into is, I feel like teams work best when all members are communicating and collaborating together. They're openly supporting each other. You don't want somebody in your group who doesn't like another person, and if they don't like that other person, I think it's important to kind of get rid of that issue right away, and try to be as cordial as possible. And then to finish it off, I guess, overall leadership takeaway, I would say leadership is a shared process. It's not just about one person, and it's not just about controlling something. It's more about guiding them. Especially kindly, I kind of look at a captain as already going through, the freshman, the sophomore, the junior year, and learning what the coaches want and everything like that. So having him be able to teach kids, and it's not so much as him telling them what to do, but him letting them make mistakes and then correcting them on the mistakes that they made in order for them to be better the next time.